which of the following graphs is narrower than this graph right here? So they give you an equation which represents a graph, and it's asking you to which one's narrower. Now remember that whenever the graph is narrower, the values will get bigger. Whenever the graph is wider, the values will get smaller. So in this case, it's narrower, so we are going to be looking for a bigger number. And what I mean by bigger number is the A value. So in this case, the A value is 1. So you can say, okay, letter A, your A value is 1. So that one will be exactly the same. Letter B, your value is 2 over 5. Is 2 over 5 bigger than 1? No. Letter C, now the fact that it's negative or positive doesn't matter. We're actually just looking at the absolute value of the A. So is 7 over 2 bigger than 1? Yes. So your answer will be letter C. Now the other way that we learned it is to be able to graph the slope. And in this case, I'm going to be using a graph. So you can go ahead and use the graph from letter A, or from problem number 1. So in this case, you can use the graph from problem number 1. So just show me an arrow going up. But in this case, I'm just going to use this graph right here. So for the first one, will be in red. So we are going to assume that the vertex is 0, 0, because otherwise we're not going to be able to compare. So the vertex for all of them will be 0, 0. Now, in this case, absolute value, we can treat this as the slope. So I can go up 1 and to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. And we can do the same thing on the other side. Up 1 to the left 1, up 1 to the left 1. Remember, absolute value functions have the shape of a V. And in class we learn Y. But for now, we're just looking to see which one is narrower. So that is the graph that's given to me. That is the shape of the graph. I'm looking for something that's narrower. Now for letter A, it's 1 over 1, so it will be exactly the same. So I know A is not the answer. For letter B, remember, it's rise over run. So it'll be up 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you notice, this one is wider. And I'm looking for something that is narrower. So in this case, letter B is not it. It's rise over run. So up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2. If you notice, that one's going to be wider, 7 and 1, 2. So it's going to be narrower. So in this case, this one's narrower, so your answer is letter C. Remember that you can just go ahead and use problem number 1, one of the graphs, and just show me an arrow going all the way up, so I can check to make sure they did the work.